Hey guys, this is Shannon with Nearly Organic Noshing, and I am on my lunch break today and I am making coleslaw. Today's recipe I actually pulled off Pinterest, and what I did is normally I don't use a recipe when I cook quite often, and especially something like coleslaw. I've done it so many times, I just do it by taste, but I know it's hard if you don't have exact ingredients and you're not used to making something. So what I did is I went on Pinterest and I just looked at some of the Southern coleslaw recipes. And this one uses all the same ingredients that I use. So I'm just gonna follow along with their recipe so that you have exact amounts. And the website or the site there on Pinterest is Whisk It Real Good. I thought that was really kind of cute and clever. So I am just using bagged coleslaw. I just find it easier and less goes to waste like that. If I'm growing my own cabbages in the garden, then yes, I'll do it like that. But if I'm just gonna make coleslaw for a specific recipe and we're just gonna have like 1 or 2 meals out of it, I'll just buy it like this. So I have 1 bag of the shredded cabbage, that's the carrots and the purple cabbage all mixed together. And then you need 1/2 cup of mayo. It doesn't matter the kind. I like the olive oil mayo, so that is what we are using here. It has lower fat, all that. And then we're gonna use 1.5 tablespoons of lemon juice, 3 tablespoons of apple cider vinegar, and this is the apple cider vinegar with the mother in it, and 2 tablespoons of sugar. If you want to make this a sugar-free recipe, you can substitute it for stevia, Splenda, Swerve, something like that. Today, I'm just going to go ahead and make it normal with sugar. And it calls for a pinch of celery salt. I actually have these little measuring spoons, and this one is a pinch. You'll see that it says pinch right there. So these are kind of cute if you're kind of curious as to about what it is and you're just not really sure. You can get a set of these: nip, smidgen, pinch, and I think dash. Yep, dash. So I have it flipped to pinch. And then 1/2 teaspoon of salt and 1/4 teaspoon of pepper, and we are just going to mix it all together in here. Okay, so I have found that when I do dressings, I really like to use my Magic Bullet or a blender. It just makes sure that everything gets incorporated really, really well. So that is what I'm gonna use here. And let me grab, of course, you always forget one thing, spatula. So I have my 1/2 cup of mayo. I'm gonna put that in here. And then 1.5 tablespoons of lemon juice. There's 1.5. And then 3 tablespoons of my apple cider vinegar. It's 1, 2, and 3. Two tablespoons of sugar. I'm gonna rinse this and dry it. Okay, I don't want to get apple cider vinegar in my sugar, so 2 tablespoons of sugar, and like I said, you can substitute for another sweetener like Swerve or something, but I'm not doing that today. Pinch of celery salt. And then 1/2 teaspoon of salt and 1/4 teaspoon of pepper. Salt. and pepper. Now you can adjust this to taste if you feel like it needs a little bit more of something, but what I'm gonna do is just go ahead and put the lid on this and get it blended up and then taste it. Okay guys, I have just blended it. It looks a little bit soupy, but that's good. You want it to be a little bit soupy so that when it blends in, it's just gonna coat everything. If you like a thicker mixture, definitely add more mayo. The other things I have substituted in this is Greek yogurt, or you can add sour cream if you wanna give it a little bit of bite and a creamier mixture. Cilantro, you can do lime juice, you can do poppy seeds. This is just a good basic recipe, but then you can get creative and change it up. So let me go ahead and move this stuff out of the way. Let me get my coleslaw mix in a bowl and get it mixed up. And just a tip, get a bigger bowl than you think you're going to need, because that coleslaw, when you buy bagged coleslaw or bagged lettuce, you don't want to see air. You want it smushed down as much as possible, and that's going to expand a lot whenever you open it up. So that's actually a lot of coleslaw. So go ahead and just dribble this in here, and I like doing it the night before if I can. I just think the flavor is a little bit better, but at least a few hours before you're going to eat, I think is fine. And what we're gonna do with this tonight is I made pulled pork a couple nights ago, and I had some leftover pulled pork that I had shredded up. I did it in the crock pot off of a pork loin. And I am gonna make pulled pork like burritos. Take tortillas and put pulled pork and coleslaw in them and wrap them all up, and that's what we are gonna have for dinner. And when the sauce just melds all in here and it sits in the fridge, it will shrink down. You can already see this is getting smaller in the bowl right now. So I'm just gonna mix this really, really well. And then right before I prepare it or serve it, then I'm gonna taste it again and see if there's absolutely anything it needs, maybe a touch of salt or pepper or a pretty little sprinkle of poppy seeds over the top if I'm gonna serve it at a dinner or something like that, just to make it look all pretty. You can chop up some cilantro, toss that in there, give it a little bit of a different flavor. But this is so simple. Don't be intimidated on making your own homemade coleslaw. So good, super crunchy, and it is gonna be awesome with dinner tonight. Okay, I have my lid on my slaw. I'm just gonna toss this in the fridge, clean up my mess, get back to work, and tonight when I wrap up the tacos, I'll just show you what they look like all wrapped up together. Okay guys, it is about almost 5:45, about 10 till I guess. I just walked in the door from the office about 15 minutes ago and have some steamed veggies here, some broccoli, cauliflower, carrots with just a little bit of butter and salt in here. This is pulled pork I did a couple of nights ago, I think Saturday night, Friday night, Saturday night, something like that. So that is the leftovers. What I did is I put the pork into a bowl, and I'm using the sugar-free barbecue sauce. I laid out regular for Jaden, or if other people in the family don't want to use this. So I have that. I have the coleslaw I made at lunch, and I have a couple of these Mission carb balanced tortillas. You can use the regular tortillas, honestly. There's really not much sugar in these either. These are low carb, low sodium ones, so use whatever you want. I really think a lot of this is just portion control, but there's no sugar in these, but there is not fiber. There's not all the fiber that are in these. So we compared them side by side. These have a lot more fiber, but the sugar isn't that different. So I'm just gonna put pulled pork with some slaw, wrap them up, and put some mixed veggies with it, and that's what I'm having for dinner. Chris still isn't home, but he called and told me he'd had a really late lunch, so he's not super hungry right now. Jaden's gonna be working late tonight, and I wanna go get out on the pressure washer by 6:30, so I have a couple hours before it is completely dark to go at least get the driveways done. So I am gonna go ahead and make mine up. Everybody else can make theirs as they get home and eat my dinner. I'll show you what it looks like all plated. All right guys, there is dinner. I already chomped on the end of this one with my mixed veggies, and I'm gonna go chow down and get started working outside till dark. All right guys, hope you're having a great night.